The DJI Osmo Pocket 4 feels different, and not in the way most people were expecting. If you were waiting for a dramatic redesign, a dual camera headline, or some massive spec jump that instantly makes the Pocket 3 feel outdated, this probably wasn't the moment you imagined, and judging by the comments, a lot of people felt that immediately. But here's the thing. That reaction doesn't mean the Pocket 4 is a weak update. It means expectations were built around the wrong version of this product. Let's rewind for a second, because context matters here. For months, leaks and renders were floating around that showed what looked like a dual camera setup. That alone changed the emotional temperature around the Pocket 4. People weren't just expecting refinement, they were expecting a leap. So when the first real confirmation finally appeared, not a render, not a spec list, but an actual retail box, it forced a reality check. You know, that retail box was shared by Igor Bogdanov, and that detail is important. This isn't a random image pulled from a forum. This is a real product box photographed in a logistics environment. DJI does not print creator combo packaging unless the product is finalized. Name, accessories, bundles, positioning, all of that is locked at that point. So whatever the Pocket 4 is, this is the version DJI wants people to see first. At first glance, it looks familiar, very familiar, almost too familiar, and that's where a lot of the disappointment comes from. But once you slow down and look at what actually changed, the Pocket 4 starts telling a very specific story. Not a story about specs, but about how DJI thinks people are actually using these cameras. One of the biggest confirmations we now have comes from the peeling layout paper that shows the button design in detail. This clears up a lot of earlier uncertainty. On the Pocket 3, the area below the screen was functional but sparse. It worked, but it didn't feel optimized. On the Pocket 4, that space has been turned into a proper control zone, and that's not accidental. There is now a clearly labeled zoom button, not a gesture, not a swipe, not a multi-function shortcut you have to remember. DJI literally calls it a zoom button. That wording matters. It suggests active control, not a toggle, and it tells us DJI expects people to use zoom frequently while recording. That alone is a major usability upgrade, even if the zoom itself turns out to be digital or hybrid rather than optical. Right next to it is the custom button labeled as user assignable, and this is where DJI's design philosophy becomes very obvious. This button isn't about deep settings. You're not going to see ISO or white balance mapped here. DJI avoids that for a reason. This button is about muscle memory, quick actions you want instantly without taking your eyes off the shot. Try gimbal recentering, switching follow modes, locking exposure, jumping between predefined shooting behaviors. This is DJI leaning hard into one-handed no menu shooting, something Pocket users have been asking for since the very first generation. Everything else stays intentionally familiar. The rotating screen still powers the camera on and off. The shutter button works the same way. Tap to shoot or record, press and hold to power down. The 5-direction joystick is still here for navigation and gimbal control. DJI didn't change these because they already work. The Pocket 4 isn't trying to reinvent how you operate the camera, it's trying to reduce friction while you're using it. So now let's talk about specs, because this is where a lot of people mentally check out, based on everything we know so far. The imaging sensor itself appears to be the same as the Pocket 3. And yes, that's going to be a deal breaker for some people. But here's the question that matters more. Was image quality actually the weak point of the Pocket line? For most users, the answer is no. What people quietly complained about was battery life, heat, and endurance. And that's where the Pocket 4 makes its most meaningful upgrade. Based on early leaks and comparisons, the Pocket 4 is expected to feature a battery roughly 18 to 20% larger, coming in at around 1,545 milliampere hours compared to the 1,300 milliampere hour battery in the Pocket 3. That doesn't sound exciting on a spec sheet, but in real use it changes how confident you feel hitting record. The slightly longer body supports that idea. This isn't just about squeezing in a bigger battery. A longer body improves grip comfort, thermal behavior, and balance when accessories are attached. It makes the camera feel more stable in the hand, especially during longer recording sessions. This is a camera that feels designed to stay on, not one you constantly baby. There are also strong indications that vertical video capabilities are being improved, not just cropped vertical, but higher resolution vertical recording that makes better use of the sensor and gimbal. That matters a lot in a world where short-form content is no longer optional. Combine that with a slightly upgraded gimbal mechanism, and suddenly the Pocket 4 makes a lot more sense as a tool for modern creators, even if the sensor itself hasn't changed. So where does that leave the dual camera leaks everyone remembers? This is the part that's confusing people, and understandably so. Earlier leaks absolutely showed what looked like a second camera or sensor, but when you look at the confirmed inventory listings from Chinese retail systems, something interesting shows up. There are multiple Pocket 4 bundles listed: standard, creator, full kits. But there is no Pro model listed yet, and there is no Federal Communications Commission filing for a Pocket 4 Pro either. That doesn't mean a Pro version doesn't exist. It means it's not ready to be announced. DJI has a very consistent pattern here. They release a refined base model first, stabilize the platform, and then introduce a higher-end variant later with the hardware leap everyone was expecting. That dual camera setup almost certainly belongs to a Pocket 4 Pro, not the standard Pocket 4 we're seeing now. And this is where a lot of the frustration in the comments actually starts to make sense. Pocket 3 owners saying they won't upgrade are probably making the right call. This version isn't meant to force an upgrade. It's meant to make the Pocket line more usable, more reliable, and more appealing to new buyers and long session creators. Pocket 3 isn't being replaced yet. It's being complemented. If DJI follows its usual strategy, a Pocket 4 Pro would arrive later with a real imaging upgrade. Optical zoom, a new sensor, maybe even true dual camera functionality, but DJI won't rush that. They'll separate it, price it higher, and aim it at a different audience entirely. So the Pocket 4 ends up being a very honest product. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It's a thoughtful refresh focused on usability, endurance, and control. And if that feels underwhelming, it's probably because you were waiting for a different version, one that likely hasn't been announced yet. And that's why this story isn't over. The Pocket 4 isn't the final chapter, it's the foundation. And if DJI's history tells us anything, the more interesting upgrade might still be coming.